Hey guys, it's Rena from Snailworks Crochet, and in this video we're going to do something a little bit special. So, my friends and I have decided that we want to do a Shrek cosplay group. And so, not all of us have figured out which characters we're going to be cosplaying as yet, but a video that popped up on my YouTube feed was a crochet dragon hat, specifically the pattern by Alexandra Massey. And I thought it was so cool that I immediately thought, I need this. I know what I'm going to be. Basically, when I saw this video and I saw this pattern and I saw like the initial pictures, I thought, I know what I'm going to be for this Shrek cosplay group. I'm going to be Dragon. And I believe that this pattern actually allows for a decent amount of modifications because in her listing picture, it's more of a Chinese dragon, but I think there are modifications to make a more Western dragon. You know what? Let me just buy this real quick. So I've decided to be Dragon from Shrek, you know, Dragon, Donkey's girlfriend. If you know, you know. You know, I obviously want the hat to be, you know, Dragon. But I'm trying to figure out if I want wings or gloves because I want this to be a pretty interesting setup. I've been going on Ravelry a little bit just to kind of look through the options for dragon wings and dragon gloves and scales and stuff. I know a very common one is they call it either the crocodile stitch or the dragon scale stitch. I've seen a lot of scarves that are in the shape of dragon wings, but I haven't really seen a lot of like wings. And I'm also kind of torn if I want the scarf and some wings, or if I should just do a scarf or should just do wings. I feel like I need both, but it's kind of difficult to find. A very popular pattern is this one on Ravelry by I think her name is, by Crafty Intentions. That's a very popular free pattern, or actually no, it's not free. This is, you have to buy it, which I don't mind buying it. And I've also seen a lot of dragon shawls and scarves, but I'm kind of torn of how I should put together my entire look. I have in my searches found a really cool fingerless glove pattern that I think would complement my cosplay very well. So I definitely will include that as part of my set. Also, as I'm looking at photos of Dragon from Shrek, she kind of like ranges between like this coral pink and this like purple depending on the lighting. And it's kind of difficult to figure out like what type of yarn to go for. So when I do eventually go shopping for yarn for this cosplay, I will definitely need a second opinion as to what color yarn should I use. Another thing I'm debating on for this one in particular is that specifically if I go with the dragon scale stitches, that stitch looks a lot cooler with variegated yarn. So I guess it'll depend on if I can find like a pink, purple, pink, magenta, coral type of variegated yarn. If I can find variegated yarn in the colors that are adjacent, I will definitely go for that because I think it's way cooler. But if I can't, I can't, and I'll have to figure out what type of pink, purple, red to go for. I think if this were a little bit pinker, it might be very good for this. I think this one could be good, but I don't know. For me, I've always hated color pooling yarns. I wish it was a little bit more variegated, but it could work. I'll see what else is there because it's a bit too bright for my liking. I kind of want something a little bit more muted, more coral, but I might end up going with this. I think this one is too light though. If there was something maybe in between that could work. I think Karen's Simply Soft has a pretty good selection of colors that I do want. The issue is that I don't like Karen's Simply Soft. I think these could be a good option. The issue is that, especially with these colors and this brand, color lot actually matters. So I'll look a little more. I think the baby yarn could work, and it would be nice because baby yarn is nice and light, especially this stuff, and most conventions that I would be wearing this to are in the summer, which means it's hot, so not dying in heat would be nice. This one could work, but I'm not sure if I want the self-striping. I think I found the dragon scale colors that I want. It still is Caron Simply Soft, and that's not my favorite, but I think I can make do with that, and I think I will use that. I do think this one's kind of a close second, but I think I like the colors better on the Caron Simply Soft ones. But now I'm gonna have to look for a color for my hat. Not quite. Let's see. So dragon is pink, but because I picked this variegated yarn, I'm gonna have to find a darker pink, because I think these pinks look close to dragon's coloring, but I might have to pick a darker color to better coordinate with the yarn I picked for the scarf. I think this one might work, and it also goes with the green that I got for the eyes. I think I'm kind of close. I might need to do 1 or 2 more rows of this brim, and then I should be able to work on the next part of the cap. Okay, so it's been a while since I updated you on the process of my dragon hat, and here it is. So I finished it. It's kind of messy a little bit here when I attach the 2 edges together, but it's fine. It'll be covered up by stuff anyway. The original creator sews the pieces into the hat to make it, and I just chose not to do that. I kind of would rather like slip it on and off, so I could take this off right now if I wanted to, which is good because I actually think I might use a different hat for this. This is essentially the base of the dragon costume. And now I haven't woven in my ends for any of this. I'll make that a later problem. By that I mean a not now problem. But essentially, I'm thinking of using a stiffer hat than the one I have in here right now, because this hat is a little bit floppy for my liking, and I think this would just look better with a more structured hat. So I think I'll do that once I clean it, because there's a lot of sweat and grossness on it since I wore it hiking. Now, outside of that, I still have a decent amount of this red heart yarn to make the features of the dragon, but I'm actually debating if I want to kind of mix and match using some pieces in this color and some pieces in the variegated yarn that I bought for this as well. So we'll have to see, because I still am going to need the yarn for like the fingerless gloves I want to make, and I'm debating if I want to make a scarf or a little wrap skirt, because the crocodile stitch takes a lot of yarn. I have also considered using a yarn that I recently bought from a local yarn store on my work trip to make a scarf instead, but we'll have to see just how I'm feeling, because I think it will all kind of depend. So updates on the hat, I did end up sewing it to the hat so that way now it's stuck here for good. So I'm going to use this wig model to kind of help me arrange like the horns and eyes and placement of all the features on the hat. And so I just need to stick all of these onto the hat, and hopefully I can make good progress doing that. I know I haven't updated you in a hot while on my dragon costume. I've definitely been dragging my feet on it, but the one thing I wanted to do was make like a little dragon type shawl to go along with it. So here's my progress on it so far. It's kind of crazy with shawls. It's just so much easier to crochet things all at once, you know? I don't know. I kind of like making shawls. I have a feeling as this gets bigger and bigger, I'm going to become more, for lack of better words, done with it. But here's the shawl I have made so far, my progress at least. This is a hand-dyed yarn from a local yarn store I went to in Boise when I was on a work trip. The really cool thing about this yarn in particular was that it's hand-dyed by the store owner, because I think in that store owner's free time, they like to dye yarn. And so I thought that was cool, which is why I picked up a skein. I haven't really done much with locally dyed yarn, but you know, I figured I could implement it into my cosplay. It is wool, so I'm worried it might get hot, but the convention hall is air conditioned. I remember when I went last year, it was pretty cold there, so I'm not too worried about it being too hot, because the thing about anime conventions is they can get pretty hot. At least some of them can be. So that's my progress. I found this styrofoam head model from a wig that I had years ago that I never wear. And I just decided to steal it to pin some of the dragon decals on. Hopefully it might work out. I'm kind of regretting my decision a little bit to use the multicolored yarn versus the plain yarn for the face details, but maybe it might. I'm hoping this is a trust the process kind of thing versus a I'm going to regret my decisions later kind of thing. I'm optimistic, maybe, you know, maybe. The one thing I kind of regret not doing is just buying a hat for the sake of this project, because I just used this kind of loose baseball cap that I got for free from a work event that had like company branding on it, and I didn't really like it. But it's not an ideal baseball hat, you know, like, because there's like the kind of floppy baseball hats, and then there's the more structured baseball hats. I have a more structured baseball hat, but I actually like using that from time to time, and with this design in particular, I had to sew it on because it would just flop everywhere. But now that I've sewed it on, I'm like, should I have done that? I don't know, but I'm hoping I can just trust the process. Okay, it's been a while since I checked in, and it's like 2 weeks until the convention. So it's kind of crunch time for this dragon hat. And I have like this much done, as well as some of the other components like right here. And I think I have everything that I need to put everything together. So I just need to do it. I'm gonna have myself on camera and I need to start sewing on these components. I have this yarn right here, I have my darning needle, and I have some polyfill. So let's do this. Thought I had some like actual needles, but I can't find them in my room because my room's a hot mess right now. So I'm just gonna use like the darning needle to sew on the components, but it might be kind of a struggle later because because there's a couple of items that actually I don't think I can. I mean, I probably could use the darning needle, but I'll have to see, because I physically sewed the crochet part onto the hat already, so I don't know. I'm still really hoping that this all looks good because I'm like really afraid that it won't. I've never been the best at sewing things, honestly, so I'm kind of just sewing this on based on vibes, which, you know, sometimes helps, but it's not the best way to do things. But the darning needle seems to be an okay choice, so I'm not too worried. I couldn't find the pattern I bought on my computer for the longest time. And I finally found it after using the search function a couple different ways on my download file. And so I finally found it, and which is great because that means I don't have to use the YouTube tutorial to constantly look at it, because I don't really like, because after a certain point, I do prefer to look at a written pattern versus looking at a YouTube tutorial. YouTube tutorials are good for the method, but they're not good for like just having it there to just reference. It's kind of a pain. So I'm glad I was able to find the pattern, and it's great because then I can just look at this video. I can just look at this diagram that she has in her written pattern to help me put all the components together. In the written pattern, she says refer to the video tutorial, and well, in the video tutorial, she also kind of says to eyeball it. So that's what I'm going to do, is eyeball it. She also mentions like the order to like place all the component, to sew on all the components, which I think that helps a little bit because I had put on the eyebrows and nose first and they look a little cursed. Her suggested method is do the lips first and then the nose and everything. I think that helps a little bit more. And just sewing this mouth on, it's giving me a little bit more confidence than I initially had. I'm still a little bit on the fence of whether I like the usage of the variegated yarn on this, but I'm just gonna blame my friends for that one. Not bad, not bad. It looks better in person. This part is making it look a little cursed, but this doesn't look bad. I did not weave in my ends for the components because I was just gonna hide them later with by sewing them on, because that's how I do things. I also contemplated using some of my scrap yarn as stuffing, but the thing about my scrap yarn is that a lot of it kind of just pokes out everywhere. And I'd probably use it on like a plushie, but if I made plushies, but probably not gonna do it for this. I think I forgot to make a nose, but the nose is easy. This head mannequin is awful. Okay. This thing, because that's bad. Okay. No, it's crooked! I feel like no matter what I do, it always looks crooked. But I think it's just the shape of this hat. Okay, that makes me feel better. Okay, that's a little bit better. This looks better in person. I swear this looks better in person. But like, the shape of this hat is not helping it. But in person, it looks pretty good. I'm still a little worried about, let's see. Okay. I think once I add the eyebrows and horns on, it'll be a little better. Okay, I think I'm done enough. I got most of the components sewed on. I just need to sew on the horns and the eyelids. And honestly, like, when I piece some of these together, it looks pretty good. Let me show you what I mean. Like, when it's all together, it looks pretty good. But when it's like this, not all together, it looks kind of doofy, which is a little unfortunate. So it looking kind of doofy was kind of throwing me off on, you know, my confidence of whether this will actually look or not. I still think it might look a little bit weird, but at this point,
I'm fine, right? This is what the hat looks like so far. I think you'll round it out when I add horns and stuff, but it's looking okay. And I think I originally skipped on making teeth, but I think it really needs the teeth right here. So yeah, I need to do that. I don't feel like putting components together right now, so I'm gonna stop for today and continue working on it tomorrow, because tomorrow my friends and I have a craft night and we are planning on using that craft session to work on our Shrek group. I know my friends are behind on this. If anything, I'm probably the most ahead compared to my friends, which makes me feel better at least. I don't know. But the hat's almost done. I still need to make a couple of accessory items. I have the base outfit planned out already. I was planning on wearing like a maroon colored like leggings and crop top combo. I was thinking either a shawl or a mesh top. I'm thinking more so shawl because the yarn I have for this is acrylic, and the shawl yarn I was working on is like one of those like hand-dyed wools, which I think could be cool. I also want like a crocodile wrap skirt almost to kind of go over it, kind of the whole like skirts over leggings thing. And I want to use crocodile stitch, but I also want crocodile stitch fingerless gloves too to complement everything. I do know, for me at least, the hat is non-negotiable and the fingerless gloves are non-negotiable, but the other accessories are kind of we'll see how I'm feeling. Because when I bought the yarn, I picked up 2 of these. I still have quite a bit of this left, which is definitely enough to make the gloves. I don't know if it'll be enough to make like a wrap skirt or like a bag accessory, so we're gonna have to see. Mainly because, again, my plan is to use dragon scale / crocodile / mermaid stitch for gloves, and I know that stitch uses up a lot of yarn. So yeah.
You know what I mean. Oh, you can't tell me you're afraid of heights. Oh, I'm just a little uncomfortable about being on a rickety bridge over a boiling lake of lava.
Okay, update on the dragon hat. Look at this. It is so stinking cool. Like, it's looking real good, right? I finished it yesterday. My friend had some extra helmet straps because when I put it on, I was having an issue where I was worried it would just fall off of my head, but she gave me some helmet straps, and so now I can just clip it in and it looks pretty cool. I am really excited. I also made some fingerless gloves with the crocodile stitch yesterday too at my friend's place. They look cool. I'm looking great. I have like a outfit that I was gonna wear with this, and so I put on everything plus the outfit. So I'm definitely gonna need a shawl, but I don't know if that shawl needs to be over here or if I can just get away with wrapping the shawl around my waist. I think I'm going to finish the dragon shawl that I was working on with the, local yarn store yarn. Also debating if I should do leg warmers, but I don't really want to do leg warmers because I don't like them. I'm gonna finish up the shawl, put it together. I also need to figure out my makeup for the day too. I can do this, but I want to do something cool with my makeup. Unfortunately, because I have glasses, I still have to see, so I kind of have to do something that works with my glasses, though I'm definitely gonna have to slick my hair back to fit under this hat. I was talking with my friends, I also need wings, and it's like 2 weeks away. I saw a really cool pattern for like cardboard wings, but I don't really have the patience for that or the skill, to be honest, so I'm just gonna buy some wings off of Amazon. My friends also suggested a tail, but I think if I use the shawl as like a skirt wrap, I can get away with not having a tail. I think also I have these like dragon over the ear accessories I got from a Ren Fair a couple years ago. I could also do that, but it might be a little clunky on my head, so we'll see.
Worst case scenario, I can just use it as a shawl pin too, so I think that'll work. But I'm also debating if I want to make an egg, like a little dragon egg, like carrying thing, because I have so much of this yarn left. I basically have this yarn plus one more skein of the Karen value that I was expecting I would use more because I was going to make a scarf, but now I'm like, okay, I'm using local yarn store yarn to make a scarf, so look, I'm all over the place, I'm sorry, but I have a lot of thoughts going on in my mind. It's part of the creative process. I'm pretty far ahead, but I'm very happy with how I am now. I'm really happy with the end result here. I may or may not add some teeth to make it look a little bit more dragon-like, but I'm a little lazy right now, so we'll see. Fit check so far. I got my wings in from Amazon, so hat right here. I'm very due for a haircut. And then I have my fingerless gloves with the wings. Okay, it's all coming together, you know? It's all coming together. I will obviously be wearing something different than this. But yeah, it's coming together. I probably should have gone for longer gloves, but I really didn't want to make them longer, and yeah, that's it. Oh, I look like a dweeb. Okay, so this is my fit check. I finished the shawl here, and I'm kind of debating if I want the shawl here or if I want the shawl around my neck like this, because the reason I'm debating, or if I want the shawl around my neck like this. Like, I don't know, I don't know what I'm doing, but there's a way to put this thing on, but like this, but I don't know how I feel about that. Because the reason I want to put it around my waist is because these are two different colors right here. And so I was hoping I could kind of hide that by having the shawl around my waist. But now I'm like, okay, well, that's fine, but I need something, like, I think, but because this is kind of a baby tee situation, I need something here. And I was thinking maybe some like jewelry. Like originally I was thinking like a neck scarf with the dragon stitch, but that's gonna be hot. So maybe some jewelry. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet, but this is my fit. And then I'm hoping to do some like makeup on my face and possibly my arms. Haven't decided on that yet, but definitely my face. Gonna give myself a dragon look. But yeah, this is it. Okay, I just practiced my makeup look. I don't look that great, but you know what? It's fine. I could pick up the mesh, like a mesh, like cap or something and try doing dragon scales that way, but at this point, I'm a little lazy. On our way to the anime convention.
I don't know who's been.
Say hi.
Hey. Hi, is it a vlog?
What's
Yeah,
up?
it's
Yeah.
vlogging time. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
actually,
You should.
oh, do I get
Yes.
It? So.
That's crazy.
How are you?
Oh. Oh, who's that handsome man in the mirror?
Oh my god.
It's me.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the handsome-
Mirror on the wall. Who's the most perfect?
Are you guys interested in a LARP that we're doing?
Okay, I just got back from the convention and man, I have not had that much attention on me like in real life for a very long time because so my friends and I, we dressed up as all the characters from Shrek and we had a whole group of people dressed up as all the Shrek characters and it was great. But I think because this is an anime convention, like Shrek is popular for memes but not for like dressing up, I guess. And also if they are dressing up as characters from Shrek, they're not dressing up at an anime convention. So everybody recognized us and everyone was like, oh my god, I love your costume. Can we take a picture? And so we got a lot of photo requests and it was really cool. It was really fun. I had a great time. So, but yeah, that's the video. I gotta take these fake nails off and my makeup off, but that's the video. I hope you enjoyed that. It was really fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye!